So we will be recording so that if you wish to access the recorded version, the recording, you will be able to access it. And yeah, thank you so much. So, well, I was gonna, okay, first of all, the greetings to DBE officials, those who are present and those in absentia, and, the educators and the learners who may be probably also listening. So I'm Mbuyi Vilakazi from Mbuyi Trust. So we have this pilot program called Youth Citizens Action Program, and which I will be introducing to you. Probably it's the first time you're hearing about it. And feel free to ask questions after my presentation, but hopefully I'll be clear and concise as possible. Before I even start, when I was preparing for this presentation, I was reminded of one song which was released in 1988. Well, I was not born, but it's a song by Michael Jackson. He says, I quote, "I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways. If you want to make a world a better place, look at yourself and then make the change." I think, and I unquote, I think that's the whole aim about YCAP. It's about change, effecting change to others. That's what we are all about. And in the words of the greatest world humanitarian, Mahatma Gandhi, he once said, you must be the change that you wish to see in the world. So with this program, we are not trying to say learners must help only the community and their schools, but we're also trying to say, while you are helping your school, be the change first before you go out there and make the change outside. So as I'm starting, so with YCAP, I'll be showing my presentation. It's a slide presentation. Let me just share it right now. I hope we can all see it. Messila,
Yes.
can you see it?
Yes, I'm able to see. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. That's great. So this is a workshop, YCAP workshop for the 2021 competition. So we are partners with the Department of Education, since the program involves and evolves around the learners in school. So this is a program that operates nationally. We have no boundaries. All the schools nationally, irrespective of their background, social background, and economical background, we work with all schools without any exception. So today I'll be giving you an introduction of what YCAP is about, our vision, our mission, the new changes that have been incorporated since now everything has moved to online, the timelines that you need to make note, or rather to take note of, and the events and and all those things. So let me start with our vision and the mission. So YCAP was formed after a youth dialogue, which was held at Africa Tikkun. It was a dialogue of grade 10 learners from various schools. So this dialogue was held around 2007 and 2008. And then this program, was born outside of that conversation. Amanda, who's the founding director, or CEO and founder and CEO of Empowervit, saw that, okay, rather than having just conversations about issues, but what are we going to do about it? Because I can see that everyone is able to identify the issues, but then after this conversation, what is next? And then she came up with this action program, which is YCAP, and which is trying to encourage learners to be part of the solution, in their communities, and to take part, in bringing about those solutions. So from 2009, we've been in collaboration with the Department of Education, and the first event was in 2010. So you can see right now that it's over a decade, and we've been able to participate with more schools have been able to participate, and we've had great impact. The learners who are part of this program, some of them, I always say, some of them are doing exceptionally well in life, are agents of change in whichever field they are in. We've produced lawyers, we've produced doctors, we've produced psychologists and all of that, who started here at YCAP as taking through taking part of in our program. So our aim is to empower, to motivate, as our name says, it's Empowervate, which comes from empowerment and motivation. So activate and motivating the new generation of active citizens, and also instilling the skills to young people to become social entrepreneurs and also job creators, and to take to take charge and to be pioneers in various fields, that people find themselves in. And I'm a beneficiary, of the work that Empowervate has done in my own life and in my own career. So as a social entrepreneur, and also as I'm working in the legal fraternity, but I started here on YCAP. So we've got, how does YCAP work? We've got a toolkit which explains, and the guide. These documents, they are very, very important as you'll be participating in this program. So the toolkit is like a magazine, so it has steps on how to complete the project, the learners, on how learners will be able to complete their project. So our program does not only fit on life orientation, English, EMS, but as I go on with my project, you'll be able to see that, in fact, this program blends perfectly with, the current existing curriculum. It's not trying to replace anything, but it's trying to work in coexisting perfectly with the current curriculum that is existing in the schools. Now, YCAP, let me just give you, so YCAP used to be more physical, physical project, and the events were physical and all of that, but now we all know that there was COVID-19 and all of that, so it forced us to incorporate many changes. So right now, obviously all schools are encouraged to participate, and irrespective, as I've said, be it's schools that are in the city or schools that are in the rural areas, and we ensure that there is fair and just judgment. So there is no favor or prejudice. That's how probably schools from rural areas will be afraid to enter, because they're scared that they'll be judged unfairly. So you won't find that with YCAP. Right now we've got these type of projects, individual projects right now, which is something that was not existing. So there is a learner who says, you know what, I'm not able to work well with the group. I would like to do the YCAP project myself. And then there are those who like, you know what, we are team players. They can group themselves into 4 and they can enter our competition or this program. But it happens that in schools, some learners would say, you know what, we'd also like to be part of the program, so what we encourage is that the school creates many groups, of 4s, and then eventually we will choose the major group, which is, which will come out from these groups, the 4 representatives. So the first category is grade 5 to grade 7. Second category is the intermediate one from grade 8 to grade 10. Then senior category, grade 11 to grade 12. And, so we're trying to be fair and just. We can't put you can't say someone who's in junior to compete with someone who's in senior. And then the type of projects, I'm still going to explain them, but we have research, action, and creative project. The topics that the learners can tackle for 2021 are as follows. It's COVID-19, mental health, unemployment, food insecurity, racism, xenophobia, gender-based violence, climate change, and environment, and national days and anniversaries. I think we can all attest that these topics are vital. They are part of our constructive dialogue these days, about especially mental health and others, they're part of a dialogue these days. If you watch the news right now, I'm sure you'd find a topic on gender-based violence. You'd find something on someone who has committed suicide, or there's racism and all of that. And right now with climate change. All right, let me continue. Right now, the initial phase of YCAP is the workshops. Is right now, as you can see, that we're conducting a workshop, and then after that there'll be schools will be required to send their portfolios, but I'm still going to explain the steps and timelines.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sorry for interrupting. I'm raising my hand. I need to ask.
Oh, okay, ma'am. You can ask.
I'm just asking, does it mean that we are no longer allowed to come up with our own topics? We just choose from these that you just gave us?
Most
Yes.
definitely.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
yes. It's a
Okay.
yes from me. All right. Now let me continue. I think also so that it can be easy, just kindly note down those questions, and then it would be easy if I just address them when I close off. It would be very easy. But thank you for that question. It's so that you. But if you have others, please note them down. So the type of projects that you can choose to do, it could be a research project, an action, or a creative. A research project it's whereby the learners will do research on a particular problem, and they will try to find out, what can be done to stop it. What can we do? What are the suggestions, that we have that could actually lessen or solve the problem? Because guys, we need to be honest. Not all problems can be solved, but sometimes we can lessen the impact that those problems have. Now, it could be also an action program, an action project. An action project, to those who have entered YCAP before, it's still the same thing. You have to do action. Probably, let's say you're targeting mental health. You are doing an action around mental health, probably doing a march, and going around to do awareness on mental health. And a creative project is also new in this category. It says someone does not want to do research, someone does not want to do action, but someone wants to do a creative project, use their talent and gift to bring about awareness. Probably you want to compose a song. Let us say you are composing now a song around mental health. So obviously, as much as research, action, and creative may be different, but it does overlap. If you are doing a song about mental health, you have to do research about mental health before you even compose a song. And also, it's an action to sing, right? But even though it's now you are doing a creative project, so then you have to show us that I composed a song about mental health. People didn't know about mental health. These were their views before I recorded the song. This is me recording the song. And now these are the views of people after I've recorded a song around mental health. So you can either choose one of these three projects or methods of solving the problem, either research, action, or creative. Now, let me go to the toolkit. This is the toolkit. It may differ from year to year, the cover, but after you've sent us your application, your form, and we've received it, you will get our guide, and you'll also get our toolkit from YCAP. Please ensure that if you are sending your form, please you can CC your official so that they may also have your application on their side, so that while we have our application on our side, they also have a copy of your application or rather form on their side. That helps us so that, let's say now there's an online, there's a national event and your school was selected, it becomes easy for them to see what kind of resources they may help you. Maybe I'm not saying that they are not that I'm promising anything, but they will say maybe we can help, but we have information on our side. So now these are the steps that you need to take into account. I'll be explaining all these 10 steps of YCAP as you will be embarking on your respective project. Let me start with step 1. Step 1 is about how, recruiting your team. How did you recruit your team? Probably were there auditions? What way were you guys recruited? And also we need to find out in this step that what are your values as a team? We need to find out what makes your team. Probably your values are accountability, it's responsibility, truthfulness, authenticity, fearfulness, loyalty. Those are the values that you guys find your team upon. And also we need to understand, as a team, you need to show us how did you understand each other's strengths, and all of that, because as a team, and you need to understand your strengths and weaknesses and all of that. You need to understand things that other people may not be comfortable with. Obviously, you'll be working in a team. that has different people, different personalities, who and so you need to understand all of that. And also in terms of recruiting, you need to show us how did you choose your team leader and what's your group purpose and mission. You need, as maybe you saw when I was doing my presentation, I was able to share with you our purpose and our mission as YCAP. You need to also show us that what were your rules, what are the rules that you guys came upon. You can do a mini constitution nyana, then like, okay, these are the rules. You said late coming is prohibited, respect is one of the, and all of that. And also, so those are the things that you are required to canvass in your step 1. And also, if there were any conflicts, how were you able to avoid those conflicts? In the toolkit, you will see we've got the steps to conflict resolution, which you may incorporate in your team, but you may also bring new ways, of resolving conflicts. So that is something that is under step 1. Let us go to step 2. Step 2 is about the roles and the responsibilities. So we're trying to say everyone must work together, and also everyone, it's easy to work together if everyone has a role to play. Responsibility to play, because you don't just have a role, which is a name and a title, but we're also trying to teach you that after as much as you have the title, but you have a role to play, but also you also have a responsibility. So you may appoint a leader, you may appoint a marketing director, but you don't have to conform to those names. Things have changed right now. There are social media managers and all of that. Come up, who's your spokesperson? Who's your income generation manager? You don't have to conform though to those roles that I'm mentioning, but it helps when we know that if something is not done, who should we speak to if something is not done? And those roles need to be chosen democratically, I must say. Don't just say we are choosing someone as a leader because we just like him. So the whole team has to select someone who will become the leader, and that will help you so that you can be able to reach your common goals. So that is important. So you need to okay. So once you have your roles and responsibilities, you are able to understand what needs to be done, who's going to do it, and also all of that. But I'm just going to explain other stuff. Now let me go to step 3. Step 3 deals with SWOT analysis, mapping, mind mapping, and all of that. But I'm going to explain it to you. What does it deal with? Step 3 is about research, SWOT analysis. So the SWOT analysis is about looking at the project. If you're going to target the school or your community. So if you're targeting the school, what are the strengths of your school? What works for your school? Probably your school has a strength that you have many teachers, or rather many educators, and it makes, functioning very easy. What are the weaknesses of the school? What is not working for your school or community? And then if it's and the opportunities, if probably you say our opportunity is that we're a school that is located in the town, so it's easy for us to get the sponsors and all of that. If it's a school that is in the rural areas, you may say as much as we're in the rural areas, but we've got great support from the community and all of that. What are the threats of the school? Probably there's crime around the school. And what are the things that or if you're doing a project that will be based on the what are the threats of the community? Every community has its own strength and weaknesses, so it may be crime, it may be various things. So now let me proceed. Now you are also required to do a map which it gives us and the judges an idea of what your school or community is about. As I always say that at YCAP, sometimes the adjudicators may not be people from South Africa, it may be people from abroad. Now you are giving them an idea of what your school is about, the challenges that are existing in your school. So let me, as you can see there in the presentation, maybe you say around the toilets, there's smoking, there's drugs, there's debt and all of that. Around the main gate, there's late coming, and just give us a map of your school and try to map the challenges within the school. Maybe in the sport ground there is maybe there's bullying and all of that. So maybe there's littering and all of that. So trying to give us a map. But if you're doing a project on your community, this map may be different, obviously, because you'll give us a map of your community and say maybe next to Vilakazi Street there is crime. Maybe next to some spaza shop there is, you know, bullying and whatnot. You know, just give us an idea of the challenges that are existing in the community. Maybe in the same Vilakazi Street there are potholes. You know, just give us so that but you'll so that we understand, we have an idea of your community or your school. Now let us go to the interrelationship diagram. Well, this one I will not dwell much on it, but due to time. But what I can say is, firstly, now you've done a mind map, right, of your school and of your or rather of your community. Identify, probably firstly start identify 10 issues. You know, let me go to this one. Right, all right, let me head back a bit so that we are all in one spirit. All right, so you can firstly identify probably 10 issues that are existing in your schools and that are probably existing in your community. And then what you can do, also try to summarize them into 5, you know, and then once they're in 5, you see which one is more urgent to be addressed. The one that is more urgent to be addressed is the main issue that you will be tackling or targeting. Now, let me proceed. So obviously, once you have those issues, those 5 issues that you've been able to cascade down to, you actually find that the major one that needs to be addressed is the driver. Other one are links and all of that, but this one is the driver. Sometimes, because we're trying to teach the learners here that sometimes we actually fix issues that are in the surface, yet we need to fix the issues that are the root or the cause. You know, you find that as you can see in this demonstration, that the learners are hungry, and you know, maybe it leads to absenteeism and all of that. Maybe the teachers are dealing with probably a wrong issue, which is absenteeism, but we need to deal with the source, which is that the learners are hungry. So that is how you go down and create the diagram. Now let us move to step 4. Step 4 is about identifying the issue, and it is about describing the issue in depth, or rather in detail. So what you're required to do is that now you've chosen one issue which is more urgent. You need to now describe that issue. Give us a description of that issue. You know, what are the causes? And that issue does not may be an environmental issue, it may be an economical issue, an academic issue, and all of that. Or yeah, so that is how you'll be able to identify the issue. So and give us in depth like the impact that the issue has in your community or in your school. All right, now I'm gonna proceed to, all right, yeah, now still on this one, on step 4. It may be environmental, educational, economical, health, safety, or a social issue. And right now you can also and now we also added a category on gender and sexuality. So you need to explain the problem that you are choosing and also brainstorm the solutions. That is important, but I think that is covered in the next step, which is step 5. Step 5, ladies and gentlemen, is about finding the target market and brainstorming solutions. So with every issue, there is people who are, okay, let us say the issue that you guys are going to target is mental health. Né? You need to ask yourself that if we are targeting mental health as an issue, who are we targeting to help? Are we helping people who are currently struggling from mental health? Or we are just generalizing and helping everyone, and those who may not even know that they're struggling with mental health? If you are probably choosing bullying, who are we targeting to help? Are we helping the bullies, empowering the bullies, or we are empowering the victims of bullying? You need to understand that. So that will help you be able to reach your goal, because we understand who are we trying to help, you know, with our project. And if probably we are doing fundraising, who are we gonna get help from, you know, and now start brainstorming solutions. When you are brainstorming solutions, obviously you process, you don't just come up with, with and say this is a solution. You come up with a process, you organize, you plan. So we've got these heads that we use at YCAP. It's blue head, white, green, yellow, black, and red. It's not literal heads, but it's heads that okay, I will explain how does it go. Obviously you're asking yourself what, when, where, who, why, and how. So now as you are fixing and trying to brainstorm solutions, if you are still thinking, it's like you are wearing a blue hat. The moment you're coming up with facts and all of this, like you're wearing a white hat. The moment everyone is creative and coming up with ideas, everyone is now wearing a green hat. So the moment you are all coming up with, proper you're all reasoning and all of that, it's like you're wearing a yellow hat. But the moment you guys think, okay, as much as we're thinking like this, but these are the threats, these are the dangers, like you're wearing now a black hat. And if now we're thinking, I think we need to change, we're not feeling this, now it's like you're wearing a red hat. It's not physical wearing of hats, but whichever state you are in mentally, it's like you're wearing that hat. Now let us proceed to step 6. But before I proceed to step 6, I'd like to check if we are still together. Are we still together? Great, thank you so much.
Yes.
It's very important. It's very important to see that you are not just going, and people have left you. So thank you so much for. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now let me go to these steps. We're gonna, we'll be done in few minutes. Trust me. But I hope right now everything is clear. Let me go back to my presentation. Now let us go to step 6. Step 6 is about now planning the actions and doing the budgeting. Obviously, everything has to be planned. You can't just do things, Jay. You have to plan and create a master plan. So, and understand what action that needs to be done. Who is needed to do that, and also what resources do you have. It's important. Even if you are planning to build a house, you don't just wake up in the morning, you buy bricks. You need to do a proper planning, because here, guys, we are building future leaders who will become great thinkers. They need to understand that with planning is very vital and important. So as you are planning, you need to understand what action that needs to be done, who needs to do that action, what resources do you have as you are planning that, what resources do you need, what time cost, what money do you have, and what money is needed, obviously. So that is how you'll be able to do this properly. Can you see right now that management or business management is now coming handy, and as with the money there, you see that now economics and EMS is coming in very handy. So this program does blend in perfectly with the subjects that are currently existing in the school. So we're not trying to replace, but we're trying to work and coexist together. Right now, let us go to step 7. Step 7 is about managing the team and doing the actions. We're not trying to say one individual must work. Every individual needs to work. In my language, we say, you find certain teams. I think we can all, and we know situations that we've been whereby you find yourself becoming the one who does most work, yet there are other people. So we're trying to say there must be proper management of the teams, and also in terms of doing the actions. Now, what needs to be done, that's the first thing that you need to determine. Who is going to do it, what is also needed, and by what and by when. So this by when is very important, because it says you need to be realistic, you need to come up with measurable goals and all of that, you see. So and also I need to also okay. All right. So but on also, while on this one, as I forgot to encourage and emphasize that please choose a topic that is easy, not necessarily easy to fix, but choose a topic that is realistic. I'm not saying, as much as, yes, we're living in a world whereby all things are possible, obviously, and the sky is only the limit, but choose a topic that you can be able to fix, and that you have the means, to fix. So don't choose a topic that is too easy and generalized, but don't also choose a topic that is just above and beyond your means. And also in terms of the time, it will be hard to achieve. Let's say you guys now are just saying we want to build a bridge. You know, now when is gonna be that bridge completed? There are many processes that you have to follow for you to build up that bridge, right? You have to hire an engineer. Just choose a topic that is reasonable. As you can see, those topics, and thank God there are topics that are chosen on your behalf, so it will become very easy. Now let me proceed. Now let us say there was a change from the initial plan. Right now we need to find out, show us in your records that, okay, what action was supposed to be done, who was supposed to do it, what resources did you have, what. So probably even when it comes to time cost, maybe we're supposed to do the project painting probably for 1 hour. Now it will be 2 hours. In terms of the money, we needed 100, maybe we needed 100 trains, but now we will need 200 trains. Maybe we needed 200 trains, but we did not use it. Someone donated. Maybe we will no longer need the 200 trains that we had. Now let me proceed to showing evidence proving impact and sustainability. This is where you really show, you know what, this step is for me the most important step. Judges who will be adjudicating, it's people who do not know you, they do not know your school, but they all they want is evidence, before, during, and after. And your project needs to show the impact and also sustainability. All right. Okay, let me. So third floor. All right, I'm back. I'm back. Okay, so you need to show the evidence. Let us say there was fundraising, someone, people, okay, there was fundraising. You may show us the fundraising forms. You need to show records. If you are doing a project, you need to show us pictures, surveys, testimonials of people who say, you know what, because of your project, you know what, we were empowered. Ask those people to send testimonials. So I'm not trying to promote myself, but I have a book which with the help of YCAP, I was able to publish. People do send me testimonials. Okay, your book helped us to achieve this and that. But so you need to keep that record that, due to the project that we embarked on, these people were assisted and their views changed. But now they also sent even letters to us, acknowledging for the work that we did. So furthermore, let us go to step 9, which is communication and motivation. So in terms of communication and motivation, you need to show us the internal communication and external communication. Obviously, with every project, proper communication is key and vital. You cannot do anything properly without communicating your message wisely. And okay, if you cannot communicate properly internally, it's hard to communicate your message externally. I think teachers will understand better that if there's a disagreement at the staff room, it's and you are not coming with one message, it's hard for you to communicate that message with other people, because even your good selves, are struggling to get the message right. So how will you be able to communicate with others outside? So learners are supposed to show us that there are ways of communicating together. Probably we had a WhatsApp group where we were, planning meetings and all of that. If you were guys having a meeting, this is the register and all of that. This is how we were communicating. And in the school, we placed the charts and all of that. And also the external communication. What did you do to communicate to the external world? So if you are doing a project in the school or in the community, show us that we created, posters, to make awareness around mental health or whichever issue. And also right now, the social media, we created a Facebook page, we created a website, but whichever that you guys can do. And I must warn, when it comes to social media, I recommend that you work closely with your educators, as you will be if you happen to embark on having a social media account for the school, and also creating a WhatsApp group. I encourage that the teacher be there as an administrator, so that you guys, right now there's cyberbullying, we don't want you guys to be subjected to cyberbullying. Yeah, now let me move on. Right, step 10, which is the last step. You need to show us, guys, that in terms of when personal and team development analysis, when it comes to this one, you need to prove to us that as a result of taking part on YCAP, you were able to develop as an individual. You need to show. Someone would say, I entered YCAP, I was very shy. I was extremely shy. But as a result of being on YCAP, now I'm able to speak. I didn't know that I can sing. I didn't know that I can write. But right now, I'm a better individual. My confidence has increased drastically. If it was me doing this step and presenting, I would say, I'm Mbuyi Vilakazi. Because of being at YCAP, I've been able to become a good leader, and I've become a great leader even on my workplace. And right now, due to being taking part on YCAP, I'm a better communicator. I'm able to communicate my message clearly and concisely. I'm able to embrace diversity because I've been able to work with different people from different races, different backgrounds. Right now, I'm a better communicator and I'm able to embrace diversity. And with being on YCAP, I'm able right now to fundraise. I was not able to fundraise, but right now I understand that fundraising better. So learners need to show us that this is the 10th step as they are doing in the presentation. So initially what is required is a portfolio. So they have to compile a portfolio of everything that they've done, which would be taken to EmpowerVate. Let me go to this. Right now, obviously, okay, schools are entering right now, and then there are workshops right now. And then there'll be mentoring, which will be taking place. Mentorship, okay, right now from 15 March to 31 May, it's the schools are entering, and then from 15 April right now to today until 15 June, it's the workshops, right? And after that, it'll be mentoring and mentorship. So the mentorship, that you can choose your educator to be your mentor, but there come times whereby we do not understand this YCAP, or rather certain aspect of YCAP. You can be able to speak to your to your district official or your official from your province to say, we need assistance. Then they can try to negotiate with us, and we can see if we can arrange a workshop, for you. And it's even better if you group yourself and other schools who do not understand certain things. Then we can be able to arrange a workshop, which will be a continuation, really no longer starting afresh, but will be just focusing on those nitty-gritties, those parts that you guys don't understand, right? And then after that, from 15 August to 31 September, it will be submission of portfolios. So then you have to submit your portfolio, and some people would say, all right, now with COVID, I would like to email my portfolio and scan everything and send it to EmpowerVate. That is good. Others may say we'd want to put it on a USB and courier it to EmpowerVate. That is good. But there are those schools who are really disadvantaged. They may communicate with their or the officials, and then we can make a plan on how we use our team to collect those USBs or those portfolios. And there are those who would say, you know what, we have physical stuff here. We don't have any USB. We do not have any. We can also email. And also then there'll be adjudication from the 1st until the 10th of October. After that, the semi-finalists will be announced. And those and then there'll be a workshop, and then after that the finalists will be announced, and those finalists will take part in the national finale competition. In that national final competition, the school that win stands a chance of winning and of rather going away with amazing prizes. They differ each and every year. So you may also go to our YouTube channel at EmpowerVate and go to our website www.empowervate.org for you to learn more about what we do as YCAP. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in and for watching this presentation. Now I'm going to be addressing some questions. To make it easy, you can also write down your question down below in the chat section so that I may be able to address your question. But thank you so much for listening attentively, and I hope everyone benefited a lot from this YCAP presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Vilakazi.
Thank you so much. Any questions, guys? You may write the question in the chat section or raise your hand. I see, forgive my, I don't know, Setswana or Sotho, but I see Ri Chedi Sitwe. Yeah. I think they've raised their hand. I think they have a question. Ri Chedi Sitwe. If you have a question, the learners are also allowed to ask any question. So you may kindly, let me see if I can be able to unmute. Okay, no, I can't. But please kindly unmute yourself and ask the question. Mr. Mfukeng, I can't hear you. Please unmute. Yes, now you are unmuted.
Okay, my question is, how are we going to get the presentation so that we can go through it?
All right. Thank you for that question. What we're going to do after this recording and alongside the toolkit and other resources which may be useful as you'll be doing the project will be sent to your official, and then it shall be emailed, obviously, to your school. I hope that is clear.
Okay.
Thank you. Can I request the school to name their
I didn't get you.
I was saying, can I get the school's name before they ask a question so that I can be able to share the presentation with them, because I can see other schools are in, but I'm not sure which school is that.
All right. All right.
Question, from which school is it?
All right, I have a better idea, Mesiliane. There is a form that Amanda has sent. Before you log off, please just go to that link. It's a link that she has provided. You just go there, fill up your information. It makes easy for us to communicate any notification with you, and it also makes it easy for the Department of Education because we'll send it directly to the official. There's a link that is there. It's an attendance register. Then it will be also sent to you, because I know other schools you have to produce proof that you attended a certain workshop. So you can go to that link. I think you can all see the link in the chat section, which was sent by Amanda.
Okay, Mr. Vilakazi, thank you, Mbuyi.
Thank you. So if you don't have any question, I think yours, it could be just to go and log there in that link and try to fill up that online form.